What is going on, everyone? My name is Boyd and I'm back with some more Age Mythology. The Titans action spawning at the bottom of the map in the red color playing as Zeus. His name is Joe. His opponent today in the blue color playing as Odin. It's Brickhead. The map is Painted Desert. The throwback. Haven't seen this map in a while. Don't know why. It's a pretty good map. It's got some things going for it. Got some cliffs. Love a good map with some cliffs. What am I saying? I don't even know. Brickhead versus Joe. So Joe's like, he's affectionately known as an Egyptian player, but he does like to go ahead and throw in a Zeus here from time to time when he's a little bit bored with winning. But his Zeus is pretty strong. We can't downplay his Zeus at all. Now, Brickhead, on the other hand, he's always kind of been considered one of the strongest Norse players, but I don't know if he's playing enough or what, because he doesn't get many wins against the top players. But that could just be more of a comment on the strength of Norse in the meta. But on this map, this one's going to be an interesting one. It's nice and open, so it's really, really good for Zeus Centaurs, which are really difficult for Odin to deal with. But a really good Odin will be able to deal with it with certain shenanigans, certain like defensive techniques, like building dwarves from your town center and walls and getting Hersa in the right positions, eating your chicken instead of being silly and eating these gazelle, things like that. The other option right here for the Zeus player is going to be to hit this gold mine nice and early with an Athena push. You can do this crazy fast advance, 4 minutes 30 seconds is the game, with Jason, with Odysseus, throw down 2 military buildings instantly and start attacking right away with a Minotaur, Jason, Odysseus, and then probably Hoplite and Toxotes straight after that. And it's a lot to deal with as a Norse player. We do see the temple going down. I actually kind of like this temple placement from Brickhead. He's realizing he's got a crappy gold mine. Throwing up anything around here is just going to be very difficult to hold on to. So throw the temple back here, not losing it. And maybe we'll just throw up some walls over here, as many as you possibly can, just a little to delay until you can get your military buildings up. I definitely think going multiple Ulfsark in the Archaic Age here is a must. At least 2. That will allow you to get the buildings up nice and early, the walls up nice and early, and give you a chance at survival in the early game against the Athena Rush. So we'll see what Joe is going to be scouting. We do see him scouting his entire side of the map first, which I generally prefer to stay away from as Greek, as Zeus against Norse. My brain's not working. As Zeus against Norse on maps with high hunt. I prefer to find one hunt patch, which I'm going to be hunting from. So go potentially this way, walk up, okay, see my gazelle, keep going forward, and then just scout out my opponent's base. See what's going on there, because if I can find some information about my opponent's base that I don't know, then I can just get some very, very easy wins. And then I can go and scout my own base, because this hunt, knowing about this town center and this hunt and this gazelle, not going to help me in the early game at all. I'm obviously moving forward here because I'm going to want to be getting those early things up. We are seeing Hermes, and this is a product, potentially a product of Joe not knowing that the gold mine was here. So, villagers moving forward. We've got 2 villagers on favor, 7 villagers on food, 7 villagers on wood, and 2 villagers on gold. So one thing that the Centaur play is lacking for Zeus players is it's very slow to get going after the initial Centaurs, because you have to spend so many resources building them. They do a lot of damage. They do demand a lot of attention. So that's a thing. We see incredibly fast upgrade there into the classical age from Brickhead. I think Brickhead realizes that Hermes is coming because the Canis has not spotted the gold mine. So what would be a really smart idea here is longhouse up, wall this. And I assume we'll see a wall getting thrown up as soon as we see Hermes. And now the Hersa moving in, going to be hitting these villagers here that are really far out of position. Which is again confusing as to why Joe didn't went for this hunt when he has when he's got to deal with sort of early pressure here, you know. from the Norse, and I love this from Brickhead, not being slow here, advancing super fast and getting the Herso out. Imagine if there was a couple more Ulfsark here as well. Be able to do a lot of damage, but the two Herso just aren't really enough. We are seeing raiding cavalry coming out right now. Two longhouses are up. The Catastropus does see the open gold mine. Jason over here just chilling. He's going to be falling. Joe, you got to micro that one away. Not doing it just yet. The Centaur coming in, going to be shooting at this raiding cavalry. The Herso on top of the Centaur. Centaur going to be running away right now, and the Jason is still kind of getting sorted. I think Joe is a little bit too worried about what's going on with his food situation, running away from this hunt because he realizes he can't defend against that one, not throwing down a stable just yet, still trying to get his Centaur out. He's getting Sylvan Law now. He's got two Centaur, not enough to really demand attention, but they can do a lot of damage. We are seeing these two raiding cavalry will spot these villagers over here. Even more going to be coming in, but they just miss it. I don't think, well, Brickhead knows about it actually. He's going straight after the wood line, which I kind of like as well, because that's going to delay even more Centaur from coming out. But because Joe's only got 2 villagers on wood, he's actually short the 12 favor he needs. This villager will be falling down. He does decide to turn around and jab just a little bit there. Now the Centaur going to be running around the base of Brickhead. He's already got the 4 Ursa out. Going to be splitting the difference here, going after a little shot on the garage. Does not get the shot off. Micros away just before it shoots. There is a wind down animation which you can cancel, I think. I could lie. I'm not sure. Jason going to be getting picked off here. Still no Odysseus out now. Going to be chopping the straggler trees down there. There's 2 of them. There's going to be a little bit of wood there, but it's not a lot. Luckily for Joe, he's been able to gather from this food for as long as he can. And we are seeing quite a few resources in the bank now for Joe. This is a common trend with his Egyptian play as well. But in his Egyptian play, it's normally there's a purpose behind it. So I'm wondering what a purpose Joe has for banking these resources. I think, generally speaking, I would like to see stables getting thrown down when you're going for this Hermes plate, or the Centaurs do pick off 1 villager there, and it's still running around. As we can see, the Odin player cannot stop this. I'd love to see these raiding cavalry still raiding. While you can't stop these Centaurs, because your opponent has made them, he can't stop you. We do see, really, really nice ghost buildings. They're getting a couple of free whacks onto those Centaur there. Unfortunately, couldn't get the 3rd one down in time to actually pick it off, but this villager is dodging and dipping and diving, and he's just going to be able to get away there, jumping into the town center. And now raiding cavalry are coming back. I'm going to try and chase these guys away. Without, thundering hooves, you can't really chase the Centaur. Once you get thundering hooves, the raiding cavalry actually kind of counter them. We do see the Herso chilling now on the back foot with a 2nd town center here for Joe. So that's what he was saving the resources up for. Finishing up on this food, he's going to have a lot of food to just build villages. Not going to have to gather that much food from the Rhino here, or you probably will gather from the Rhino, but it's going to be totally fine for him. And now the raiding cavalry are going to be searching around. They do have their eye on these gazelle, and they're going to move in. They're going to see the gazelle and potentially also see this wood lion here. Would have been more of a safe bet to just move the villagers down the bottom here. This would never get scattered out, but potentially Brickhead won't see that one at all. We do see that Joe is now onto these Rhino, snaring these guys out, still building, no, not building the Centaur just yet. 2nd town center is now coming up for Joe. And this guy's getting a little bit dangerous here. He has been putting the pressure on. He's kind of ahead. But with the 2nd town center coming up for Brickhead, that's going to mean that a potential Ragnarok is going to have to get dealt with here. When you go 2 town centers yourself as Greek this late, it means that you're not going to be able to get Mythic Age for Hera in time to defend against the Ragnarok. And even if you do get there, it's going to be difficult for you. So we'll see. We'll see if Joe can keep the pressure on with these 3 Centaur that he still has. Town centers going up for Joe as well. No Centaurs coming out just yet. 3rd town center coming out. The Ravens chilling on top of that one, so they're going to see that. And Joe's just outright booming off the back of this, doing a lot of damage with these Centaur, and it's going to be good. Brickhead does have his town center up though. He's going to start building out some gatherers from now on, potentially put them onto wood so then he can start building up farms, because he's probably not going to feel safe to come onto this hunt, even though he may be wanting to. We just see some nice micro there from Joe to pick off that raiding cavalry with the special ability. Without the special ability, the Centaur kind of don't hit the raiding cavalry, so that's the thing as well. Granary over here is going up for the chicken. Though that being said, getting husbandry and going onto these goat is always better. Always. You can get husbandry and wait and let them get up to 300 food, but I just prefer to get the early food faster. Gather the food faster is always better in my opinion, rather than getting more total a little bit later. The Catastropus does get sniped at the back here. The Centaur turning around, trying to get a snipe onto the Raiding Cavalry, as he does manage to do that one. Still has 8 HP left in this one. Now finally a stable coming up for Joe. I'd actually love to see him just throw up a bunch of buildings, military buildings here, and just spam out the military units. The other option for him is maybe just, he's got Ceasefire, maybe he can just race to the Mythic Age and then start spamming out Myrmidon and skip army completely. Brickhead's playing very passively, as he should against the Centaur. Potentially Joe could just be spamming more Centaur out and just keeping these raids going instead of making these stables and just racing to the Mythic Age here. And then when Brickhead decides to attack, you just use Ceasefire, throw military buildings down, and then get them out nice and quick smart. But we won't be seeing that one just yet. And the units moving forward. Here's a Pegasus over here that will be spotting the Centaur. And with Scardy coming through now for Brickhead, the Frost Giant. The Frost Giant is pretty important right now. He can clean up these Centaur very, very easily. We are going to be seeing that as soon as you see the Frost Giant here, you cannot move forward, and that is exactly what Joe's going to be doing. Centaur going to be running away. We see a forward hill fort right now for Brickhead, and now pumping out the units. We're getting 111 from Joe, like 11 minutes before he starts building military units. He's getting 94 population here. And the big issue for him right now is going to be these Frost Giants. He's only got 2 heroes. Brickhead's going to be sitting at 105 population. Joe's actually very close to that himself, but most of that is in villages, whereas most of Brickhead's is in army. So we'll see if he can make a strong push here, or if he's even going to be making anything out of this. He's going to be making Huskarl. Huskarl are a good choice against the army of Joe. Pushing him forward, Joe retreating back, and where he does have Ceasefire. So he can very well use that one. And now the army of Brickhead going to be going after the town center. Joe coming in to try and defend this one, sitting at 118 population. Really not that much gold income right now. Does he have upgrades? He has pickaxe. He's got plow as well. There's a really strong timing here for Brickhead. And we do see Frost Giant of Thrym coming out, or Rhyme coming out. So he's got those Thrym Frost Giants. And they're going to be trying to bash down this town center. The Jason does get picked off. The Frost Giant will be falling fairly soon from this Odysseus, I assume. But taking those archers fires like a boss. And Brickhead going super all in here. Would have loved to see like a portable ram as well to help this attack. Odysseus trying to jump in and out of the town center to pick off this Frost Giant. But now Joe going to be losing this town center anytime soon. Surprised to see him not utilize the Ceasefire here and just race for the Heroic Age so that he could get out a Heracles and just deal with the Frost. Would have been a fairly decent idea. Now the town center is just about to fall. no repairing from oh, that was interesting. Brickhead was just about to win this and he cast Frost, and that's going to mean Joe can just repair this town center back up, but Joe is short gold. I'm going to be pulling villagers off of wood over here and onto gold, trying to pump these guys out. He's got excess food right now, but it's just gold that's the issue. He's getting shaft mine to allow himself to get a little bit more gold income. But Brickhead's happy here, keeping Joe in the classical age for as long as he possibly can. Joe going to be almost fully populated here in the villager region. 4 military buildings going up to 6 military buildings here, which is perfect for Brickhead, because if he starts getting those upgrades in, his army will outclass the Greek army. And given that he does not have Heracles or an option to build Heracles, it's a very, very difficult situation for him to be in. There is this low HP Frost Giant here. The Odysseus is super low HP as well, only 36 hit points. So he has to be super careful with this one. Maybe it would have been worth it to just delete him. No Olympus parentage for him either. He could be thinking about getting Masons, which he has got, which is going to hold on to this position a little bit better. And Brickhead staying here. He's deciding to fight this one, which is a little bit interesting. Brickhead is pretty much fully popped. Every single time he loses units in this point, he's going to be getting more villagers coming out. Would love to see him getting this town center while this is all going on. It's not going to be happening. These 3 Frost Giants are just doing absolute work. The Ulfjarl plus the Huskarl as well, just taking up this archaic, basically early classical age Greek army with no upgrades, no medium upgrades is absolutely huge right now. Odysseus does pop out in order to help snipe these Frost Giants, but it's just, they do so much damage. They've got 21.6 hack damage, 12 crush damage, and the town center for Joe will be falling as the Odysseus is trying to micro that one, but that's that. And the Frost Giants are still moving around, beating everything down, and now Brickhead can claim this town center for himself. He's got all of the military units over here, and he has completely crushed this strategy from Joe, and the Frost Giant's going to be killing everything as well, as he's pushing him back right now. Super well played by Brickhead. Not sure what option Joe has here. And the wall's already going up for Brickhead as well, keeping Joe locked in place. Brickhead does not want to throw this game. He realizes there is one thing about Norse, and that's one mistake and you can lose the game. But if you do not make that mistake, then it's difficult to beat you. And the Frost Giants are continuously killing these units here. There's a bunch of Longhouse right in the front base of Joe as well. And he is going to be killing everything. The safest option right now for Brickhead is just to race towards Ragnarok and get that one. I've seen yet again more Centaur doing some damage over here. And interesting little wood situation going on over here and over here. That's a little bit inefficient there. Feels bad. Can start thinking about maybe a fortified town center. Let's see what Brickhead can do here. He's got the superior army. These are medium hoplites, but most of these throwing axemen, they're super strong. They've even got Huntress Axe, which gives him an extra 0.9 hack damage. And when you think about it, that's actually gigantic because they do 175% damage, extra bonus damage against the hoplite. So it's more like 3 damage-ish. A little bit less. Now we've got heavy throwing axemen coming in, and this is just going to absolutely carve up the hoplite Toxote army of Joe as Brickhead is pushing through. He's got 4 of these Frost Giants, just nullifying 4 units at a time. And we do see the Odysseus coming out right now, and it's immediately going to get focus fired by the throwing axemen, and he does not get microed at all from Joe, who's just trying to pick off those Frost Giants. Now Jason's out as well. Throwing Axeman going to be ripping through him. And then we'll be moving forward and maybe being able to take down the hometown center of Joe, who does decide in that moment to tap out. GG, well played by Brickhead. Nice job dealing with the Zeus here of Joe. Well done, my friend. Showing the people how to beat the pesky Centaur. Honestly, I think that Joe was in a fine position. He made that crucial mistake over here of fighting, when potentially what he should have done is just let Brickhead bash his head against the town center with the Jason and Odysseus sniping down the Frost Giants, and then just ceasefire, get full population, go heroic age, go mythic age, and get upgrades. Every time you fight an army that has more technology than you, you're fighting inefficiently. So just don't fight, take some ground, leave some ground up, and you'll be fine. The other option is you could have just let him kill the town center and then immediately rebuild it with ceasefire. Could have been just as interesting. Anyways, GG for Brickhead. Happy for him to get a win. We'll move on to one more game with Brickhead versus Joe. So we'll see who takes that one. I think this was just some friendlies, so it could go either way. And yeah, we'll get that one going real soon.